All right, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. I tried to get this fixed. This internet thing is really plucking my nerves today. And apparently it's not just our home that's having these internet issues. I don't know, Cox was out here. Well, we got Verizon, but Cox been out here for like my neighbors and stuff. So somebody must have hit a transformer somewhere. And it's weird because I can't even get my portable Wi-Fi on. I guess the signal from my phone is not strong enough to bring it online. It's crazy. It's really plucking my nerves. Shayla, can you do me a favor? Can you copy the link here? Hold on, because I'm not sure if I can do it. Can you copy the link here for today's video, if you can, and go to my YouTube page, or do me a favor, post it in here so I can copy it here, or just go post it in the community section of the post I just put in the community section on YouTube, saying that the video is acting squirrely. We're having technical difficulties. Post the link in the comment section for me, please. Yeah, because all this, I can't do it. And it's still buffering. I'm trying to even close my screen. But anyway, we're going to keep on going. We can't be here that long today either because I have a couple appointments this morning. So we probably about limited to like 30 minutes now. So let's get started. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. All right, y'all. So it is Wednesday, April the 6th, 2022, day 75 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. Another the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1093. Today we're going to read in the complete Annunaki Bible, tablets. Why? Oh, y'all, we almost done. Oh, yeah, we're going to be done with this in a couple days. We're going to start OSP. Tablet Y on page 381. And I think this one's really short, too. Oh, yeah, it's like 2 pages. It's 2.5 pages, yeah, so 283. I'm sorry, 383. Yeah, you must have missed me. Can you take, it's buffering. The internet hasn't been fixed here. Somebody, the Cox people said somebody hit like a transformer or something because multiple neighbors here on our street is having internet problems. We paid our bill. The bill was the first thing I checked. Wait a minute, this is automatically paid. Our Wi-Fi shouldn't be cut off, right? Checked it, paid our bill last month for, we paid ahead. So, but everybody's having internet issues on my block. My phone Wi-Fi is, I guess it's not strong enough being inside of the house to connect it to my laptop like it does when I'm outside of the house. I don't know, it's like a dead zone with the Wi-Fi in here. And even my portable Wi-Fi is not even picking it up. So, I don't know. Can you take today's link from Facebook and post it in the community section on that post where I said we're having technical difficulties? I posted about 5 minutes ago. Can you just take this link, post it in there for me? Because I put the post, but I couldn't get the link because it's moving too slow. So people probably wonder, okay, how do I get there? They've never been here before. So yeah, the YouTube video is going to be uploaded from the Facebook today later. All right, so, and after we read that, we're going to read a little bit more of what ancient wisdom would have its disciples to know. All right, beautiful people. So, Father, help us today with all these technical difficulties. Help us to get it together and bless the people with the time that we do have today. All right, y'all. So, starting at tablet Y on page 381. Okay. Thanks, Shayla. Tablet Y, Book of Ceremonial Gatekeeper's Notes. Using the Mardukite materials to devise a plan, the gatekeeper should then have all of the necessary physical ritual items thought to be required, prepared and ready. The practitioner should be internally prepared as well, and the body of light may be entered when using the traditional Annunaki system described in this book. The ritual area may be envisioned and sealed in the manner depicted in the following illustration. This is drawn based on the descriptions given in the unearthed Mardukite Pentagram rite, also known as the incantation of Iridu or incantation of the deep. Thank you. Let's see. Shayla. Okay. Let's see if I can. Thank you for putting it in there. I'll just keep letting this video kind of do its thing. But I'm going to have to replace it all together anyway. Hold on, let me see. Auntie, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. We're having technical difficulties with YouTube. Shayla just posted the link over there for me. Let's see. Boom. Let me see. Did she put it in here? Oh, yeah. Shayla, you rock. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Shayla. Okay. I just wanted to check it real quick. Okay, sweet. Okay. All right, y'all. So that was the intro, well, a little bit of the intro for this. And so here is the sigil that they have, or the drawing for it. I'm sure I'll have to come a little closer. Can y'all make that out? Okay. Okay. So this is drawn based on the descriptions given in the unearthed Mardukite pentagram rite, also known as the incantation of Eridu or incantation of the deep. All right. Conjuration of a personal watcher spirit is not unique to the Egypto-Babylonian system. By the time of the Assyrians, this had come to be known as the guardian angel, essentially an Igigi spirit or Sedu, attached to each individual human on earth as a shadow. Most practitioners in the past have also found some serious ceremonial success with the conjuration of the watcher, alluded to in the Simonian contribution to the mysteries. And since we could find no logical reason to alter this part, and nothing except much later Hermetic rites in which to replace it, we have not. In the case of the conjuration of the fire god, the Mardukite chamberlains did find one independently. And so now it goes into the conjuration of the fire god. Servant of the great god, companion of the flame, bringer of the light, Gira, Gibil, Nusku, you whose mouth is the unquenchable flame, you who is seated in the fire, you whose seat in the lake of fire in heaven, in whose hands is left the greatness and power of God. Reveal yourself here this day, or in brackets, if it was night, you would say night, and speak with me, and give me answer without falsehood. I will glorify your name in the Abydos. I will glorify your name in Babylon. I will glorify your name before the sun. I will glorify your name before the moon. Rise up, son of the flaming disk of Anu, great God, Anu, heavenly Father. Descend into me with your holy servant. I invoke thee. Gibel, Gashru, Umana, Udanru, Tushti. Yes, Shir, Ilanu, Ma, Yalki. Gishbar, Ia, Zia. Z, Dinger, Gira, Kanpa. It is not I, but Marduk, slayer of serpents, who calls thee here now. It is not I, but Enki, father of the magicians, who summons thee. Come forth in and give answer. Come forth and let my eyes be open this day. And in brackets, if it was night, you would say night. Spirit of the fire of God, thou art conjured. The next section is the Mardukite pentagram rite. This introductory rite is comparable to what modern practitioners encounter as the LBRP, or the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. And it has reference 121, and it says, see also Sorcerer's Handbook, 20th anniversary edition by Joshua Free, or Arcanum, the Great Magical Arcanum by Joshua Free. The rite is often used in contemporary ceremonial magic. A Mardukite version, also known as the priest's incantation of Eridu, may be used within the Annunaki system. The purpose of the rite is the same, a preliminary and closing rite used to banish the existing energies of a space, acknowledge the beings, consecrate space as a mandala or magic circle to them, and finally to graciously negate resonant ritual energies at the end of the ceremony. In the LBRP, pentagrams of light are traced and envisioned in addition to the activation of the elemental gates. Egypto-Babylonian rituals from the ancient times often involve lighting a lamp or a lantern at each quarter, as well as a larger central fire consecrated to the fire god. Candles may be substituted when necessary. I am the priest of Marduk, son of our father Enki. I am the priest in Eridu and the magician in Babylon. Samas is before me. Nana Sin is behind me. Nergal is at my right hand. Ninurta is at my left hand. About me flames the pentagram, the sign of our race. Above and below me shine the ladder of lights. Anu above me, the king in heaven. Enki below me, the lord of the deep. The power of Marduk is within me. It is not I, but Marduk who commands thee. The final key to the dispersal of prior undesired energies that can affect the harmonic flow of a working are the following words. Inu Shub Amgig Absu Kish E Giga Garshak Da Sisi Armarada Ya Dinger Ud Kalama Siniku Dinger Nina Guyu Net Zaranku Ga Yashu Shag Muku Tu. And that is actually the end of tablet Y. That was really short. I told you I was on like a page and a half. Kimber, right? Shalom. Shalom. Jerry, oh great spirit, fill us with your presence so that we glorify you in everything we do. Hallelujah. Uncle JB Graham, rise, auntie. Shalom. All right, y'all. So that was it for that. There's only really like a few minutes, which works out perfectly today. First of all, because we're having technical difficulties.
At last we meet.
My kids and their games up here. Second of all, I got early appointments today, which I'm thinking, because they're coming so much more often, we definitely going to have to move our time in the morning back. Is it back or up? We're going to make it earlier than it currently is. What? All these screens open? Back up. Back up. Back up. Did they open every single app that was on this iPad that could possibly be open?
No.
This is ridiculous. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, y'all. So we're going to pop back to where we paused at yesterday. Talking about the mystery schools and how Judas Iscariot was... They put Pontius Pilate and Judas Iscariot into this well-known little play that they used to recite. Okay, so I'll go back to there. Hold on. Let's go back here. Okay. In the remote past, the gods walked with men, and while the instructors from the invisible planes of nature were still laboring with the infant humanity of this planet, they chose from among the sons of men the wisest and the truest. These they labored. Yes, Tootie. Isaiah, this is not working, okay? Go through there. These they labored with, preparing them to carry on the work of the gods after the spiritual hierarchies themselves had withdrawn into the invisible worlds. With these specially ordained and illumined sons, they left the keys of their great wisdom, which was the knowledge of good and evil. They ordained these anointed and appointed ones to be priests or mediators between themselves, the gods, and that humanity which had not yet developed the eyes which permitted them to gaze into the face of truth and live. Overshadowed by the divine prerogative, These illumined ones found what we now know as the ancient mysteries. These were schools of religious truths, religion being here used in its sense of implying divine wisdom. These spiritual universities were admitted the most trustworthy and most capable of the sons of men. At first, these schools were publicly recognized. Great temples were built to house the priests and serve as chambers of initiation. The record of the mystical arcane was in the form of carvings, baked clay tablets, and papyrus rolls. Generation after generation was illumined by the wisdom secreted in these sacred repositories. Gradually, a separation took place among the schools of the mysteries. The zeal of the priests to spread their doctrines in many cases apparently exceeded their intelligence. As a result, many were allowed to enter into the temples before they had really prepared themselves. What, Pooh?
Mom,
Yes.
I was using that.
No, you're not using it. Leave it alone. Before they had really prepared themselves for the wisdom they were to receive. The result was that these untutored minds, slowly gaining positions of authority, became at last incapable of maintaining the institution because they were unable to contact the spiritual powers behind the material enterprise. So the mystery schools vanished. The spiritual hierarchy, served through all generations by a limited number of true and devoted followers, withdrew from the world, while the colossal material organizations, having no longer any contact with their divine source, wandered in circles, daily becoming more involved in the rituals and symbols which they had lost the power of interpreting. An interesting and concrete example of the deterioration of the mystery schools and their rituals is found in the children's Punch and Judy play. For hundreds of years, the frivolous of all Western nations have laughed at the strange antics of these little figures. The world has long forgotten that this play originated among the early Christian mystics, where Punch was Pontius Pilate and Judy was Judas Iscariot. The little club which Punch carries is a degeneration of the ancient scepters which were carried by Roman dignitaries in the Holy Land. It is also quite probable that the famous scene between Punch and the baby is taken from the early Christian story of the slaughter of the innocents. It is really remarkable how down through the ages, by word of mouth, by allegory and symbol, and by natural example, the truths revealed to the ancients have been perpetrated to our own day, and yet have ever been concealed from the eyes of the profane. It has been said that wisdom lies not in seeing things, but in seeing through things. For the occultists, at least, this is doubly true. For the Atlantean periods of which Plato dreamed, the work of gathering and arranging the ancient wisdom went on apace. For the people of Atlantis were the greatest exponents of concrete thought the world has ever known. The Atlanteans never fully understood the wisdom that was theirs, for even in those early times, the gods had withdrawn from the mass of humanity and spoke to man only through appointed priests and oracles. The method of communication used by the spiritual powers is faithfully set out by Josephus in his description of the Ark of the Covenant and the priests who served it. This ark was an oracle, and the gods spoke to the high priest by means of the language of symbolism. From the Atlanteans, with their ancient tabernacle mysteries.
Mommy.
Yes.
Just Josh have them.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Don't cry. Go upstairs and complain to Dad about that. He got it first. Go. Go. I don't want to hear it, Bella.
Mom, them can get crumbs down the floor.
Bella, bye. That's unnecessary first thing this morning.
Them get crumbs
This ark was an oracle, and the gods spoke to the high priest by means of the language of symbolism. From the Atlanteans, with their ancient tabernacle mysteries, we have secured nearly all that we know concerning the ancient wisdom and its mysteries. According to the sacred book, they were the keepers of the spiritual records which have been given to them by their progenitors, the Serpent Kings, who reigned over the earth. It was these Serpent Kings who founded the mystery schools, which later appeared as the Egyptian and Brahmin mysteries and other forms of ancient occultism. The serpent was their symbol, for they taught man the use of the creative energy which courses through nature and his own bodies as a serpentine line of force. They were the true sons of light, and from them have descended a long line of adepts and initiates, duly tried and proven according to the law. These have kept alight the divine truths through many generations of ignorance and thoughtlessness. The later Atlantean world crumbled because it wavered from the law. It forgot that nature was the ruler of all things, and in attempting to survive unnaturally, it was destroyed. Before its disintegration, however, the ancient wisdom passed into the new Aryan world, where from the heart of the lofty Himalayas, its adepts and initiates began the process of building a new people to be the living tabernacles of the gods among men. Man has not always been a material being. Eternities ago, he was a spiritual creature of radiant and glorious powers. Gradually, he assumed the coats of skin, which we call bodies, and his radiance was darkened by the sheaths of clay. Little by little, he lost touch with his fathers, the sons of light, and began to wander in darkness. At the time when the third eye closed in man, during the period of the ancient Lemurian world, the human race lost contact with its invisible teachers. Gradually, even the memory of them faded out until only myths and legends remained. If y'all got the Holy Megillah, there are some portions in there that actually allude to a lot of this stuff, right? As you begin to research more, you'll just uncover more and more of this same truth, right? Okay. At the time when the third eye closed in man, during the period of the ancient Lemurian world, the human race lost contact with its invisible teachers. Gradually, even the memory of them faded out until only myths and legends remained. Mythology is the authentic record of those periods of transition when the diviner sparks were gradually assuming the bodies of mortality. But man was never left to wander alone in ignorance. When the ties connecting him to the unseen worlds were broken, certain methods were established whereby the will of the gods could be made known. To this end, a certain number of men and women were instructed how to bridge the chasm which then separated the gods from men. The method of establishing this communication was the greatest of all the secrets of ancient occultism. This secret has been preserved for the race, for at a later time, all human beings will be able to communicate directly with the gods once more. During the great interval of ages, this wisdom has been perpetrated in the mystery schools, and a few chosen disciples in each generation have been given the sacred privilege of knowing the gods. This wisdom and the power and knowledge they have gained, this wisdom and the power and knowledge they have gained, they in turn impart to a few chosen and beloved disciples. Thus the work is carried on. The ability of the mystery schools to communicate with the invisible worlds is the basis of their power. For all the creative hierarchies dwell in the unseen worlds, and there the disciple must go in order to consult them. The reason for this is that the human race is the only one in our scheme of things that is equipped with both a physical and a mental body. The gods, so-called, have never descended into physical substance. Consequently, having no body composed of dense chemical elements, they are incapable of manifesting here. In order to communicate with them, man must, therefore, learn to function consciously in his own In order to communicate with them, man must, therefore, learn to function consciously in his own invisible bodies. When he is capable of doing this, he can communicate with the spiritual beings who dwell in similar super physical substance. Thus, while religion deals only with fancies, the orums and beliefs, the initiates of ancient wisdom go straight to the fountainhead of wisdom, and learning the will of the gods, make that will the law of their lives. That's good. I'm going to read that again. I got to go up a couple sentences. The gods, so-called, have never descended into physical substance. Consequently, having no body composed of dense chemical elements, they are incapable of manifesting here. In order to communicate with them, man must, therefore, learn to function consciously in his own invisible bodies. When he is capable of doing this, he can communicate with the spiritual beings who dwell in similar superphysical substances. Thus, while religion deals only with fancies, the orums and beliefs, the initiates of the ancient wisdom go straight to the fountainhead of wisdom, and learning the will of the gods, make that will the law of their lives. The initiate does not guess, wonder, or soliloquize. He labors with facts, for he is one with the truths of nature. The secret path of spiritual illumination is the way which the planetary logos has established his The secret path of spiritual illumination is the way which the planetary logos has established that his children might learn to know him and accomplish his ends. The logos is surrounded by a hierarchy of superhuman beings and also by a group of great initiates who may be called the fruitage of the human world, period. These great initiates, with their divinely inspired minds, are established as mighty pillars in the house of their God. They are the supports of the temple of human progress. These great minds were called by the ancient Jewish mystics the cedars of Lebanon. These are the trees which Solomon is supposed to have cut from the forest of the earth to use as the mainstays of his divine wisdom. From north, east, south, and west, the secret truths of these initiated minds have been gathered. The adepts and mystics of all nations. No, Isaiah, then put it down. Don't use it. It's not for you. Go put it back. Stop interrupting me with that stuff that can wait. I'm sorry, y'all. From north, east, south, and west, the secret truths of these initiated minds have been gathered. The adepts and mystics of all nations have given to their disciples the fruitage of their investigations while functioning in the invisible worlds. The mystery schools, fulfilling the ancient law, are fashioned in a pattern of nature, and we know them today as the 7 great schools of the mysteries. All these are branches of one tree which grows in the center of the garden of the Lord, watered by 4 rivers, the wisdom of the 4 worlds. As every ray of light breaks into 7 colors when it strikes a prism, so this ancient truth, striking the prismatic body of the material world, appears in a septenary body. This body is called the 7-headed serpent, for although it speaks with 7 mouths, it has but one brain, one life, one origin. The priests of the mysteries were symbolized as a serpent, sometimes called Hydra. From this world we have secured our common word, From this word we have secured our common word, hydrant. As the hydrant carries water, so through the hydra body of the initiate pass the waters of life. He is, therefore, a tube or channel through which they are disseminated like water from the nozzle of a hydrant. These 7 schools, which compose of 12 initiates and their disciples surrounding a 13th exalted brother, are the God-ordained perpetrators of the ancient wisdom as it has come from the dawn of the world, when the gods descended from the nebula of the sun and took up their dwelling place on the sacred island at the North Polar Cap. Let me read that again. Make sure y'all was paying attention. We ain't going to go into it, but just read it again. You're going to need to remember this. These 7 schools, each composed of 12 initiates and their disciples, surrounding a 13th exalted brother, are the God-ordained perpetrators of the ancient wisdom as it has come from the dawn of the world, when the gods descended from the nebula of the sun and took up their dwelling place on the sacred island at the North Polar Cap. As this document is not intended for propaganda purposes, we shall not name any of these schools, but they represent the 7 planets and the 7 great paths. They represent also the 7 vital organs of the human body and the 7 vials which pour out their contents upon the world. All disciples seeking to gain knowledge concerning the laws of nature must secure that wisdom through one of these 7 channels appointed by the initiate for the furtherance of his peculiar work. And just add another note, if you have the Holy Megillah, it also alludes to this, right? It talks about a few of the different paths in a little bit more detail. I'm just saying, if you ain't got it, consider getting it and reading through it. Okay. All disciples seeking to gain knowledge concerning the laws of nature must secure that wisdom through one of these 7 channels appointed by the initiate for the furtherance of his peculiar work. Every one of these mystery schools is invisible and unknown. They can only be found after long searching and repeated disappointment. In recognition of the dignity of these schools and the sanctity of the wisdom which they represent, this treatise has been prepared to give in a simple way some of the marvelous truths for which they stand. Let me repeat that one more time. Listen. As this document is not intended for propaganda purposes, we shall not name any of these schools, but they represent the 7 planets and the 7 great paths. They also represent the 7 vital organs of the human body and the 7 vials which pour out their contents upon the world. All disciples seeking to gain knowledge concerning the laws of nature must secure that wisdom through one of these 7 channels appointed by the initiate for the furtherance of his peculiar work. Every one of these mystery schools is invisible and unknown. They can only be found after long searching and repeated disappointment. This is where your discipline will help you, right? So just like example, so what I've been doing over the last 4 years, well, what you've seen visibly over the last 4 years coming up here daily, it's a discipline that I chose to invoke upon myself, right? It's a discipline that I held myself to. I was doing it since 2014, right? But we came live in 2018. So it's a discipline that's carried on quite a few years. And by actually picking a discipline and sticking to it consistently, truths began to come to you or unfold to you, or different types of wisdom that the regular average Joe Blow may not get, right? Because You too undisciplined to even understand what's even going on here, right? So pick something. You don't have to start doing the video, but when you learn to discipline yourself, you just, I can't even explain it. You just tend to get more supernatural help than what you would get if you were undisciplined. That's the best way I can explain it at this moment without getting into too much detail, because we're going to have to go in a couple minutes. Okay, listen. All disciples seeking to gain knowledge concerning the laws of nature must secure that wisdom through one of these 7 channels appointed by the I kept saying initiate. I'm glad I read that again for the 3rd time. Okay, listen. Okay. All disciples seeking to gain knowledge concerning the laws of nature must secure that wisdom through one of these 7 channels appointed by the infinite, not the initiate. I kept saying initiate. By the infinite, by Yah, right? Whatever your life's path is to be, what he's designed, the path for you to go down, you got to figure it out. The path that was designed by him for you. All disciples seeking to gain knowledge concerning the laws of nature must secure that wisdom through one of these 7 channels appointed by the infinite for the furtherance of his peculiar work. Every one of these mystery schools is invisible and unknown. They can only be found after long searching and repeated disappointment. In recognition of the dignity of these schools and the sanctity of the wisdom which they represent, this treatise has been prepared to give in a simple way some of the marvelous truths for which they stand, right? So, like New Testament say, you don't need man to teach you anything, right? That's I've come to learn that is more true than what we first believed, right? As you submit yourself to discipline, your invisible teachers will show up, right? You don't need nobody teaching you about it. They can give you good wisdom, but when you're ready to go to that next level, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? You could be led through, it's just a lot of different ways that they use depending on what your life experience is and how you will realize that you are getting help from the unseen realm, right? Y'all will be leading and guiding you and opening up your eyes to different truths and stuff. Like, y'all, this is a real thing. I'm telling y'all from personal experience. Every 100 years, the voice of the great school is heard, and into the world comes one to bear witness to the unseen. He speaks with a voice of wisdom, and he is overshadowed by the 7 lights. Gradually, the mystery school, the 7 branches considered as a unit, is leavening the entire loaf of human thought. Today, as never before, men are turning to search for their gods, or we should say, rather, that they are turning away in disgust from our age of material things, which is slowly crushing the beauty and spirituality out of life. Our materialism is destroying the souls of men. It is breaking the heart of the world. It is stifling the finite. It is stifling the finer side of every nature, and something within man is revolting against this unnatural oppression. Many who have never given it thought before are now wondering what the end of it all will be. How far the human race can evolve itself without bringing the entire structure of modern ethics crashing down in ruins. And this is where we absolutely have to pause at today. It's getting good, I know, but we got to stop right here and highlight this little paragraph so I know where I'm at. And Verizon just sent me a text and say my technician will be out here between 10 and 12, but my son gonna have to be here because we got to go. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out today. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. This little short video will be uploaded to the main channel and the backup channel. The video for yesterday, I didn't get a chance to upload to the backup channel because of all the technical difficulties, and I had so much running around I had to do that I just didn't take my laptop out to get to a good Wi-Fi spot to do it. So be patient. It'll be uploaded once the Wi-Fi is fixed, right? All right, beautiful people. I love y'all. It is Wednesday, April the 6th, 2020. 22, day 75 of year 4, reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1093. We read all of Tablet Y, which was super short, 2.5 pages, and we read a little bit more of the ancient what ancient wisdom would have his disciples to know. All right, y'all, know it's a pretty short video. Like I said, we definitely pretty soon we're gonna have to make these videos a little bit earlier. Kudos to the ones that's been getting up at like 4 and 5 in y'all time zone. We're gonna have to adjust it because the days are just getting busier for us, and I gotta rise a little bit earlier, meaning I need to do my videos a bit earlier. So instead of 7:15, we're gonna go to 6:15. And if y'all can't make it live, I'm sorry. I really do apologize, but I gotta adjust as our lives adjust here, right? Y'all get it. Y'all got families. Y'all understand, right? Mama. So pretty soon, I said before the summer was out, we're gonna probably go to 6:15, but it's looking like we're gonna have to go there a whole lot sooner than before the end of the summer. So just giving y'all warning ahead of time. So, all right, beautiful people. Yes, Bella, you can step on up here. All right, beautiful people. Father, thank you for.
You didn't do the blessing first.
Look, that's what I'm trying to pray, girl. Look, and I don't even think I can pull it up. You want to do the actual blessing? I was just about to pray. Do a quick prayer. Since you're here, hold on. Ooh, can we do it? Ooh, it came up. Okay, so let's do an oldie but goodie for Bella. We're going to do the blessing today, y'all. Here we go. You ready? Mm. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah will kneel before us, presenting gifts, and will guard us with a hedge of protection. Yahuwah will illuminate us with the wholeness of his being. Yahuwah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards us, bringing order, and he will provide us with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahuwah will lift up his wholeness of being and look upon us, and he will set in place all we need to be whole and complete. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. I love y'all. I will see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully everything is fixed when they get out here today. They get all this fixed up, whatever then happened on the block where everybody's Wi-Fi and stuff is out. They can resolve this issue. All right, y'all. I love y'all. See y'all in the morning.